Derry had faced monsters before. It had learned their rhythms, their disguises, the way fear bloomed and was harvested in cycles as old as the town itself. Derry knew how to survive evil that belonged to it. What it had never faced was something that did not need fear to live, did not understand hunger, and laughed at the idea of limits. When Bill Cipher arrived in Derry, the town recognized him at once. And deep beneath the streets, something ancient woke up, not to feed, but to defend its territory. If this story hooked you, if you, re-drawn to dark worlds, ancient evil, and clashes that go beyond the familiar, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Derry had always known when something was wrong. It was not superstition, not really. It was closer to muscle memory, the way a body flinches before pain fully registers. The town had learned its lessons young and learned them well. Storm drains gurgled when they should not. Streetlights flickered without explanation. Children dreamed dreams that were not their own. And sometimes, very rarely, the air itself seemed to pause. On a Tuesday evening in late October, as the last leaves clung desperately to the trees along Witcham Street, Derry paused. Dogs began to whine. One collapsed outright, legs stiff, eyes rolling white. Somewhere downtown, a car alarm went off and did not stop. The sky dimmed, not dark exactly, but flatter, as if someone had rubbed their thumb across a painting and smeared the colors together. Beneath it all, far below the sidewalks and cellars and buried memories, something ancient stirred. It had been sleeping. It always slept between feedings. But now, it woke. The shape arrived without ceremony. No thunderclap. No burst of light. No hole torn screaming into the sky. One moment the empty lot behind the abandoned Derry Community Center was empty. The next moment, it was not. Reality bent inward, folding like damp cardboard, and then he was there, a yellow triangle hovering 3 feet above the dead grass, a single eye blinking slowly at the world, a black top hat perched absurdly on one point of his body. Bill Cipher smiled. "Well, well, well," he said, his voice echoing twice, once in the air and once somewhere deeper, somewhere wrong. "Would you look at this dump?" He rotated lazily, eye scanning the town. The streets, the houses, the people who did not yet know they were being watched. "Oh, I can feel it already," Bill said, giggling. "Fear baked right into the bedrock. Love that. Saves time." He snapped his fingers. The sound did not carry far, but something answered. Deep underground, something vast and patient opened its eyes. It had worn many faces. Clown. Leper. Bird. Spider. Dead child with broken neck. Faces were tools. Masks. Flavors. But beneath them all, it was older than names, older than planets cooling into shape. It existed in cycles: sleep, hunger, feeding, sleep again. The town was its larder. The children were its delicacy. And now, there was another. The presence was wrong. Not prey. Not food. Not fear made flesh like itself. This thing was noise. Chaos without hunger. Madness without purpose. The deadlights pulsed, irritated. Intruder, they signaled across dimensions where language broke down. For the first time in a long while, it felt something close to anger. Bill drifted through Derry like a tourist on vacation, peering into windows, poking at reality, laughing when it screamed. He passed a boy riding his bike too fast downhill. With a flick of Bill's finger, the brakes vanished. The boy crashed. Bill watched, disappointed. Amateur fear," he muttered. "Needs more existential dread." He floated on, sensing something bigger. Older. A gravity well of terror that bent the town around it. "Oh, a big one," Bill whispered, delighted. "What are you, huh? Eldritch? Cosmic? Local legend with delusions of grandeur? A sewer grate rattled as he passed overhead. Something laughed back. The first meeting did not happen face to face. It happened in reflections. Bill glanced into a puddle and saw, not himself, but a clown staring back, eyes yellow and knowing. "Cute trick," Bill said. "Mirrors are my thing." The clown smiled wider than physics should allow. "You are not from here." Bill's eye narrowed. "No kidding, bozo. Neither are you, technically. So what, you the landlord? This town is mine." Bill burst out laughing, spinning in midair. "Buddy, towns are concepts. Concepts are mine. You're just a squatter with good PR." The reflection rippled. The puddle boiled. Somewhere deep beneath Derry, the deadlights flared brighter. Children began to have the dreams that night. Not the usual ones. Not teeth or blood or hands reaching from drains. They dreamed of shapes. Angles that hurt to look at. A yellow eye that watched them watching it back. And beneath that, deeper still, they dreamed of the clown screaming. Pennywise emerged from the sewer near Neibolt Street at dawn. The form it chose was the familiar one, red hair, white face, smile sharp as broken glass. But the eyes, those were older now. Wary. It had never faced something like this. Bill Cipher was not afraid. Worse, he was curious. And curiosity, Pennywise knew, was the one thing fear could not touch. Derry did not sleep that night. It pretended to, lights went out, doors locked, televisions murmured themselves into silence, but the town's pulse stayed elevated, like a fever refusing to break. Something had changed the flavor of the dark. It was no longer familiar. No longer cyclical. It was crowded. The boy's name was Tommy Calder, and he was 9 years old. He lay awake in his bedroom on the second floor of a narrow house off Kansas Street, staring at the glow in the dark stars on his ceiling. They had stopped glowing an hour ago, but he kept staring anyway. Because the eye was still there. Not on the ceiling. Asterisk behind asterisk it. Tommy squeezed his eyes shut. When he opened them again, the stars were gone entirely, replaced by a flat yellow triangle hovering inches from his face. A single eye blinked, slow and wet. "Heya, kid," the thing said cheerfully. "You ever wonder if your thoughts are really yours?" Tommy tried to scream. Nothing came out. Bill Cipher leaned closer, his edges buzzing like a bad television signal. "Do not worry, this will not hurt." "Well, you will not remember it hurting." The room flickered. Then the clown was there too. Not fully. Not yet. Just the suggestion of a smile stretched across the wallpaper, red lines seeping through the paint like old blood. "This one is mine." Bill snorted. "Take a number, face paint." "I am doing market research." The air went cold. The smile vanished. Tommy screamed at last, and the scream echoed far beyond his bedroom, tunneling downward, feeding something deep and vast and hungry. Bill drifted out of the house, irritated. "That's new," he muttered. "Someone's territorial." He floated above Derry, eye glowing as he peeled back layers of reality the way a child might peel skin off a pudding. Streets overlapped. Houses repeated. Memories clung to places like mold. And at the center of it all, their star. A presence like a gravity well. "Oh, you are ancient," Bill said softly, delighted. "Older than the rules. Older than the menu." The town shuddered. Below, in tunnels carved long before white men gave the place a name, Pennywise watched without eyes, considered without thought. It had fed on gods before. It had waited them out. Time was a tool. Hunger was eternal. But this thing, this thing asterisk did not hunger star. It asterisk played star. The first real confrontation happened at the Barrens. Not because either of them chose it. Because the place remembered children. The air hung heavy with rot and river water. Rusted appliances lay half buried in mud like relics from a dead civilization. The sun overhead looked wrong, dimmed as if viewed through smoked glass. Bill Cipher hovered above the clearing, clapping his hands. "Oh, classic fear zone," he said. "Love the nostalgia. Really pulls at the trauma." Pennywise rose from the water in a slow, deliberate motion. Not as a clown this time, but something taller, thinner, its body folding and unfolding like an insect deciding which shape to wear. "You do not belong," it said, voice layered, echoing inward. "You disrupt the cycle." Bill tilted, considering. Cycle, huh? Eat, sleep, repeat? Cute. Real sustainable horror model. Very retro. The deadlights flared behind Pennywise's eyes, a suggestion of infinity, of madness that burned sanity to ash. Bill looked straight at them. His smile widened. "Oh ho. Now asterisk that, asterisk flashy." For the first time since it had learned fear from the minds of mammals, Pennywise hesitated. Bill laughed, the sound splintering into harmonics that made the trees bend away. "Buddy, I eat dimensions like that for breakfast. You think a light show scares me?" The deadlights pulsed harder, pouring themselves outward, trying to overwhelm, to reduce, to end star. Reality screamed. The river boiled. And Bill flickered. Just for a moment. Not fear. But resistance. Pennywise felt it then, clear and sharp. This thing could not be consumed. But, it could be pushed star. The days that followed were wrong in ways Derry would struggle to explain later. Gravity hiccuped. Shadows lagged behind their owners. A church on Main Street rang its bells continuously for 6 hours before collapsing inward like it had been swallowed by itself. People vanished. Others stayed, but came back, altered. Smiling too wide. Speaking in riddles. Drawing triangles with eyes in the margins of their notebooks. And all the while, Pennywise stalked the cracks, striking where Bill was loudest, feeding harder, faster, stockpiling fear like ammunition. Children disappeared in clusters. The deadlights grew brighter. Bill noticed. "You bulking up," he said one afternoon, appearing upside down inside a sewer tunnel Pennywise occupied. "What's the plan, champ? Hit the gym, then what?" "You are a disease," Pennywise replied. "I am the cure." Bill rolled his eye. "Wow. Dramatic and delusional. You sure you not from my universe?" He snapped his fingers. The tunnel inverted. Stone turned to flesh. Teeth grew from the walls. Pennywise endured it, letting the illusion wash over it, cataloging, learning. Bill's power was vast. But it was sloppy. The trap was set slowly. Carefully. Pennywise allowed Bill deeper access. Allowed him to warp larger sections of the town. Allowed the boundaries between worlds to thin until the deadlights could reach in ways they never had before. Bill grew bold. "This place is ripe," he declared, floating above Derry as the sky fractured into geometric shards. "I could crack it open, let a little Weirdmageddon leak through. Give the locals something to really scream about." He did not see the pattern forming beneath him. Did not feel the ancient rhythms aligning. Did not notice that the fear had changed flavor, from sharp and panicked to deep and existential. The kind that lasted. It happened beneath the town. In the place where Pennywise truly lived. Bill descended willingly, following the pull of something vast and luminous. The deadlights burned before him, no longer contained by form or shape, a roaring ocean of impossible color. "Well, I'll be damned," Bill whispered, genuinely impressed. "You re the real deal." The light surged. "Not to consume. To expel star." Pennywise struck not with fear, but with belonging star. This place was old. This place was closed. This place rejected the outside star. Bill screamed as the rules turned against him. Angles collapsed. Dimensions folded. His form fractured, laughter stuttering into static. "You see not," he snarled. "I do not, I do not follow rules." You do, Pennywise answered. You just pretend not to. The deadlights flared one final time, a pulse that rippled outward through the town, through the cracks between worlds, through Bill himself. He was torn loose. Flung screaming back into the spaces between realities, his laughter echoing, fading, collapsing into a single hateful whisper. "This is not over." Then he was gone. Derry collapsed inward. Not destroyed. Reset. The sky cleared. The streets straightened. The cracks sealed. Pennywise retreated, weakened but victorious, settling back into its long sleep. The cycle resumed. But something lingered. Sometimes, children still dreamed of a yellow eye watching from far away. And deep in the dark, Pennywise dreamed too, of laughter. And for the first time in its endless existence, it dreamed of something like relief. The town told itself it was over. That was what towns did. They sanded down the rough edges of memory and painted over the rot until it looked like history instead of a wound. Derry had more practice at this than most places. Forgetting was one of its oldest skills. Within a week, the newspapers stopped mentioning the unexplained outages and the sinkholes that had opened and closed overnight like mouths tasting the air. Within a month, the missing posters curled and fell from telephone poles. By spring, people spoke of that autumn only in vague terms, a strange season a bad year one of those things star. But the ground remembered. Tommy Calder survived. That, in itself, was unusual. He woke in Mercy Hospital 3 days after the screaming stopped, his throat raw, his hair gone white at the temples. Doctors said it was shock. His mother believed them because she needed to. When Tommy tried to explain the triangle, the eye, the way the world had folded like paper and unfolded wrong, she cried and told him it had just been a dream. Tommy learned quickly what answers were acceptable. Still, sometimes at night, he woke with the certainty that something very far away was looking back at him. Not here. Not in Derry. Somewhere between places. Waiting. Pennywise slept. Its rest was deeper than before, heavier. The expulsion had cost it. Power spent never returned in quite the same shape. The deadlights dimmed, retreating inward like a tide pulling back from a scarred shore. But it was patient. It had always been patient. Cycles were long. Hunger always came back. And yet, something had changed. In sleep, it dreamed not only of fear, but of resistant star. Of a thing that had laughed at the lights and survived them. Of chaos that did not bend, only broke and reformed elsewhere. This knowledge nestled deep, uncomfortable as a grain of sand in an eye. The next time it woke, it knew, it would be more careful. Far away, so far that distance had no meaning, Bill Cipher drifted in fragments. He did not die. Death was a local custom, and he had never been one for local rules. But exile heard in ways annihilation never could. He spun through collapsed dimensions and half-formed realities, his shape unstable, laughter cracked and thin. Okay, he muttered to himself, pulling his pieces together with effort. Okay. Lesson learned. The memory of the deadlights burned, not with fear, but with asterisk annoyance star. Next time, Bill said, I narrowing as he stitched himself back into something resembling whole, I bring back up. Somewhere, impossibly distant, a town shuddered in its sleep. And somewhere beneath that town, something ancient stirred, just enough to listen. Not afraid. Never afraid. But no longer entirely alone. Pennywise did not sleep deeply after that. It listened. The thing that called itself Bill Cipher was gone from Derry, expelled beyond the skin of the world, but absence did not mean silence. The universe had seams. Weak places. The deadlights could feel them the way nerves feel cold long before frostbite sets in. Bill was still laughing somewhere. That mattered. Bill reassembled himself slowly. Not because he had to. Because he was angry. He drifted in a void stitched together from discarded realities, replaying the moment again and again, the pressure, the rejection, the way the rules had turned inward and forced him out like a splinter. You cheated, Bill snarled, eye twitching. You did not beat me. You closed the door. He hated closed systems. Hated ownership. Hated places that said this is mine and meant it. Derry had done that. Or rather, it had. The clown. Bill smiled again, slower this time. Oh, you think this is over, he whispered into the dark. You think you won? The void answered with silence. Bill cracked it open anyway. Pennywise woke early. Not fully. Not to feed. But enough to watch. The town above it was calm, ignorant, safe in the way prey always was right before the cycle resumed. Pennywise extended its awareness outward, brushing against dimensions, tasting for anomalies. There. A pressure. Not entry. Not yet. But attention. The deadlights pulsed once, sharply. You are still here, Pennywise sent, not as words but as a boundary. Bill's reply came back distorted, filtered through layers of unreality. Ah, do not flatter yourself. I am just visiting the neighborhood. The space between worlds tightened. This was not a fight of claws or teeth. This was territory. Bill probed. He sent fragments, ideas, whispers, dreams, slipping through cracks Pennywise could not fully seal without starving itself. Children dreamed of laughing clowns with triangular shadows. Sewers echoed with voices that were not Pennywise's, mimicking its cadence, its hunger. Mockery. Bill was learning the shape of his enemy. Pennywise retaliated not by striking outward, but by deepening. It fed harder, faster, drawing fear down and compressing it, thickening the walls of its domain until the town became less a place and more a lock. Every child's scream reinforced the boundary. Bill felt it. Wow, he admitted, grudgingly. You really committing to this whole local god thing. He pushed harder. Reality around Derry warped again, angles wrong, colors bleeding, the sky occasionally peeling back to show static and screaming geometry. The town strained. So did Pennywise. Their first true clash since the expulsion happened without witnesses. Bill forced a projection through, a partial manifestation, unstable but potent, hovering above the sewer junction beneath Main Street. Pennywise met it not as a clown, but as something closer to its origin, vast, layered, impossible to fully perceive. The deadlights burned like a star glimpsed through a dying eye. For a moment, the universe held its breath. Bill laughed, louder than before, forcing himself forward. Miss me? The deadlights surged. Bill screamed, not in pain, but in fury, as parts of him began to unravel again. You redoing the same trick? He shouted. Still hiding behind your house rules. And you still do not understand, Pennywise answered. This is not a game. Bill snapped his fingers. The concept of inside broke. The deadlights flickered. Just for a fraction of eternity. Pennywise recoiled. That was new. They circled each other across dimensions after that. Bill learned to avoid full exposure to the lights, striking indirectly, warping perception, infecting fear itself with absurdity and contradiction. Pennywise countered by grounding terror, making it heavier, slower, older, fear that did not spike but settled. Chaos versus inevitability. Laughter versus hunger. Bill could not dominate Pennywise. Pennywise could not consume Bill. But Pennywise could do something Bill hated more than defeat. It could end the interaction. The final confrontation came when Bill tried to anchor himself again, just briefly, using Derry as a hinge point between worlds. He nearly succeeded. Reality screamed. The sky fractured. For one terrible moment, Weirdmageddon pressed its face against the town. Pennywise rose to meet it with everything it had left. The deadlights flared not outward, but around Bill, sealing the space, collapsing the angles, restoring the idea of elsewhere. "You are not welcome," Pennywise declared, not in anger, but in certainty. Bill thrashed, laughing and cursing, his form breaking into symbols and static. "You ca not keep me out forever. Forever is not required." The light pulsed. Bill was torn loose again, scattered farther this time, his laughter stretching thin, dissolving into distant echoes. The door slammed shut. Hard. When it was over, Pennywise sank back, depleted but intact. The town stabilized. The cracks sealed. And deep beneath Derry, something ancient settled into a watchful sleep, knowing one thing with absolute certainty: the triangle would return. But next time, it would be ready. Pennywise did not mistake exile for victory. Victory implied an ending. This was only containment. Deep beneath Derry, in the vast chamber where geometry lost its meaning and the deadlights burned like the memory of a sun, it gathered itself and *weighted star. Waiting was not passive. Waiting was pressure held in reserve. Every feeding cycle, every scream drawn down through drains and dreams, reinforced the same conclusion: Bill Cipher was not gone. He was learning star. Bill learned pain in pieces. He drifted through places where logic had died young and been forgotten, reassembling himself again and again, each reconstruction tighter, quieter. He stopped laughing all the time. That alone would have terrified anyone who knew him. "You do not beat a lock by kicking it," Bill murmured to himself, I half-lit it as symbols spun around him. "You become the key." He replayed Pennywise endlessly, the way the deadlights did not attack but excluded the way Derry itself had been weaponized into a closed loop. Fear was not just food there, it was structure star. Territorial predator, Bill said thoughtfully. Nested god. Finite domain. That was the weakness. Everything that belonged somewhere could be denied elsewhere star. Bill smiled again, sharp and deliberate. The pressure returned subtly. Not with distortions this time. Not with screaming skies or bending streets. Pennywise sensed it first as misalignment star. Fear arriving wrong, children afraid of things that did not fit the town's usual rhythms. Jokes whispered in the dark. Nightmares that collapsed into laughter at their worst point. Fear with no nutritional value. Pollution. Pennywise reacted instantly, culling hard, feeding deeper, purging anything that carried Bill's signature. But Bill had learned restraint. He was not trying to enter. He was trying to desynchronize star. "You ca not keep me out forever," Bill whispered across the void again, softer now. "But you can starve." The deadlights flared in warning. "You underestimate hunger," Pennywise replied. Bill chuckled. "And you underestimate boredom." Their next confrontation was almost civil. Bill did not force his way in. He projected only a voice, a presence, hovering at the edge of Pennywise's perception like an itch just out of reach. You ever think about what you are? Bill asked casually. Not the masks. Not the feeding. The *functioned star. Pennywise ignored him. I mean it, Bill continued. You not chaos. You not creation. You maintenance. Pest control. You keep the universe tidy by scaring the right things at the right time. Silence. That's why you hate me, Bill said gently. I do not clean up. I knock shelves over. The deadlights pulsed once, violent and bright. You will not provoke me into error. Bill laughed, but this time there was no joy in it. That's the thing. You already made one. The mistake was engagement star. Each time Pennywise responded, each warning, each boundary enforced, it confirmed the same truth: Bill mattered. Bill exerted influence. Bill could pull attention star. Attention was a door. Bill exploited it carefully, threading paradoxes into Pennywise's awareness, forcing it to divide itself, watching the town, reinforcing the lock, monitoring the outside. For the first time in its existence, Pennywise experienced cognitive load star. It did not like it. The final clash came without spectacle. No collapsing sky. No screaming geometry. Just pressure. Bill pushed, not inward, but sideways creating a false adjacency between Derry and a place that should never have touched it. Pennywise felt the boundary thinning, felt the deadlight strain as the concept of here lost clarity. Stop, it commanded, pouring everything into the barrier. Bill answered calmly. No. For a moment, just a moment, Bill touched the edge of the domain again. Pennywise reacted instantly, not with light, but with identity star. It asserted itself fully, completely, absolutely. This place is me. The deadlights ignited with a force that did not burn but defined star. Derry snapped back into alignment. The false adjacency collapsed. Bill's presence was caught in the recoil, stretched thin across incompatible realities. Bill screamed, not laughing now, not joking, as he was torn free again, flung farther than before, scattered across layers that refused to recombine easily. You nothing without your town. Bill roared as he unraveled. And you are nothing within it, Pennywise answered. The connection severed. Cleanly. Decisively. Pennywise withdrew at once. It did not pursue. It did not taunt. It sealed the boundary, thickened the walls, and sank back into dormancy, conserving what remained. Hunger would return. It always did. But the lesson stayed. Chaos could be expelled. Not destroyed. Just kept out star. Far away, Bill Cipher drifted, fractured and furious, pulling himself together with effort that bordered on pain. Okay, he hissed, I dimmer than before. Okay. I get it. He looked toward the vast, unreachable absence where Derry existed, now silent, sealed, complete. You win, Bill said quietly. Then he smiled. For now. Pennywise slept. Not the shallow, half-aware slumber of a predator between meals, but something heavier, closer to convalescence. The effort of sealing the boundary, of defining the place so completely that chaos itself had been rejected, had drained it in a way no feeding ever had. For a long time, there was only darkness and the slow, tidal pulse of the deadlights breathing in and out. The town above settled. Derry always did. When Pennywise dreamed, it dreamed of edges. Not teeth or claws or screaming faces, but borders, lines drawn so deeply into reality that they became truth. It dreamed of the moment Bill Cipher had been forced apart, not by power, but by incompatibility. Chaos had no purchase here. Laughter could not take root in soil this old. And yet, there was a flaw. The realization came without panic. Panic was a human luxury. This was closer to irritation, to the awareness of a hairline crack in stone that would one day matter. Bill had touched the boundary. Not broken it. But mapped it. Far away, Bill Cipher reformed for the last time. Or what passed for the last. His shape was simpler now. Less extravagant. The hat gone. The static muted. He had learned something Pennywise had never intended to teach him: restraint. Territorial entities rely on closure, Bill murmured, examining the scars in his own geometry. Closed loops. Self-reference. Cute. He reached out, not toward Derry, not directly, but toward the idea of places like it. Anchored horrors. Localized gods. Finite domains pretending at infinity. Bill smiled, thin and sharp. "I do not need your town," he said softly. "I just needed to know how towns work." He turned away, already losing interest. Time passed. In Derry, years slid over the surface like leaves over water. People were born. People left. People forgot. The town remained slightly off, as it always had been, but stable. Safe enough. Pennywise woke when hunger demanded it. The feeding was different now, more cautious, more selective. It did not overextend. It did not reach beyond its boundaries. The memory of expulsion lingered, shaping behavior the way pain shaped instinct. Still, the fear tasted right. Still, the cycle held. Still, the deadlights burned. Once, long after the children who had dreamed of triangles had grown old or moved away, Pennywise felt something brush the boundary. Not a breach. Not even a probe. Just a recognition. A pressure like a fingertip resting briefly on glass. Bill's voice did not come. His laughter did not echo. But the implication was clear. Pennywise answered without hesitation, reinforcing the definition of the place, thickening the walls, reasserting the ancient truth: this is not for you. The pressure withdrew. Satisfied. Deep in its core, Pennywise considered the encounter with a clarity it rarely applied to anything but hunger. Bill Cipher had not been prey. Nor had he been a predator. He had been weather. Uncontrollable. Transient. Dangerous, but not personal. The universe would survive him. It always did. Pennywise settled back into the dark, the deadlights dimming to their steady, patient glow. Derry slept. And somewhere far beyond the reach of towns and drains and cycles, Bill Cipher laughed again, not loudly, not yet, but with the quiet confidence of something that had learned where the doors were, even if one of them remained firmly closed. For now. The universe, vast and indifferent, continued to make room for both of them.